Welcome to Space Nexus. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In a world increasingly divided by politics and protectionism, where nations are building more barriers than ever before, the idea of connection can feel almost radical. Yet, Canada is quietly finishing a monumental act of connection. The Gordie Howe International Bridge, a project that stands in stark contrast to the global trend of isolation. As we stand here in November 2025, its towers rise over the Detroit River, not just as an engineering feat, but as a bold statement of hope and unity between two nations. This $6.4 billion Canadian project is a defiant answer to rising trade barriers, opening its 6 lanes next year amid a fierce trade war and growing uncertainty about the future of cross-border cooperation. When President Trump announced a 25% tariff on Canadian goods, the bridge's purpose shifted from simply enabling seamless commerce to becoming a powerful symbol of Canadian resilience and determination to keep doors open. The Windsor-Detroit corridor is North America's busiest trade artery, with a quarter of all goods between the two countries passing through this vital link every year, fueling economies on both sides. The automotive industry in particular depends on this lifeline, with parts and components crossing the border multiple times before a single car is built, highlighting the deep integration of Canadian and American manufacturing. Now, as the bridge nears completion, Canada is betting on openness and cooperation, even as political storms rage and uncertainty clouds the horizon. Prime Minister Mark Carney invokes the spirit of Gordie Howe, "Keep your elbows up," reminding Canadians to stay strong, adaptable, and ready for whatever challenges may come. This is the story of a bridge built for the future, facing the turbulent realities of the present, and daring to imagine a world where connection triumphs over division. The Detroit River has long been more than just a border between two nations. For over a century, it has served as a vital link, connecting communities, economies, and families on both sides of the water. It's the central artery of a deeply interconnected industrial heartland, where the pulse of manufacturing and trade beats strongest. The 1965 Auto Pact erased the border for automakers, forging a single North American industry. This agreement sparked decades of shared prosperity, innovation, and growth as parts and vehicles flowed freely across the river. Every day, goods worth hundreds of millions of dollars cross here, supporting over 125,000 Canadian auto jobs and fueling the economies of both nations. And beyond those numbers, there are countless more jobs and livelihoods on both sides, all tied to this relentless flow of commerce. The process is a ballet of just-in-time delivery, with parts and components crisscrossing the border multiple times before a single car rolls off the line. Precision and timing are everything. Any disruption, even a brief delay, sends shockwaves through the entire system, halting production and threatening jobs. Windsor and Detroit are more than neighbors. They're family, with generations crossing daily for work, school, and life's milestones, weaving a shared story across the river. This seamless flow of people and goods became the bedrock of regional growth, transforming both cities and shaping their destinies together. Now, that foundation is being tested as never before, with new challenges threatening to disrupt what once seemed unbreakable. The new Gordie Howe International Bridge was meant to secure this partnership for the 21st century, but as the world changes, the stakes for this vital connection have never been higher. For nearly a century, the privately owned Ambassador Bridge controlled North America's most critical trade corridor. Acquired by Manuel "Matty" Morone in 1979, the bridge became a private monopoly, sparking decades of concern over capacity, tolls, and vulnerability. Long lines of trucks and rising costs symbolize a system under strain. The Moran family fiercely resisted any public alternative, spending millions to block competition. Canada saw this as a national security risk and pushed for a new, publicly owned bridge. The Gordie Howe project was about more than adding lanes. It was about reclaiming control and breaking a monopoly. Canada financed the entire project, including the U.S. Customs Plaza, to ensure public ownership. The new bridge is the result of a decades-long fight for sovereignty and security. After years of battles, Construction on the Gordie Howe Bridge began in 2018, a modern marvel designed for the next century. This bridge is not just an engineering feat, but a symbol of perseverance and collaboration between nations. Built by Bridging North America, the bridge will be the longest cable-stayed span in North America, with 6 wide lanes and a multi-use path for pedestrians and cyclists. This infrastructure is set to redefine cross-border travel and trade. In June 2024, the decks from Canada and the US met high above the river, a powerful symbol of connection. This milestone marked a significant step towards uniting two nations through a single impressive structure. The project includes massive ports of entry and direct links to major highways, creating a seamless trade corridor. This will facilitate smoother and faster transportation of goods, boosting economic activities on both sides of the border. Canada fronted the $6.4 billion cost, planning to recoup it through tolls. This significant investment underscores the importance of the bridge in enhancing trade and travel. Lower tolls than the Ambassador Bridge were expected to make it the preferred route. This competitive pricing strategy aims to attract more traffic and ensure the bridge's financial viability. Before the trade crisis, projections showed over $100 million in annual revenue by 2035. These optimistic forecasts highlighted the bridge's potential to become a major revenue generator. The bridge was poised to become the region's primary crossing, until politics intervened. Political challenges have since cast a shadow over its future, but the vision of a united trade corridor remains strong. The bridge's optimistic future collided with reality in January 2025, when President Trump announced a sweeping 25% tariff on Canadian goods. The blow landed hardest on the auto sector, with tariffs targeting foreign-made vehicles. Canada responded with dollar-for-dollar tariffs, launching a full-blown trade war. The economic ecosystem was thrown into chaos, and cross-border relations soured overnight. The Gordie Howe Bridge, once a symbol of cooperation, became a political flashpoint. With a federal election looming, the trade war dominated Canada's national debate. For the government, the bridge is a stand for sovereignty. For critics, it risks becoming a costly bridge to nowhere. The stakes for Canada's investment and its future have never been higher. The bridge's fate now hangs in the balance of political brinkmanship. The 25% tariffs hit the North American auto industry like a wrecking ball. Stellantis idled its Windsor minivan plant, affecting 3,000 workers and threatening US parts suppliers. The just-in-time system collapsed under the new costs, with experts warning the supply chain can't survive such tariffs. The tariffs act as a crippling tax, applied multiple times as parts cross the border. Nearly 500,000 Canadian jobs are at risk, and the US auto sector is hurting too. The pain extends beyond factories. Cross-border travel and tourism have plummeted, fraying the social fabric of border communities. The economic shock is reshaping industries and lives on both sides. The bridge, once a symbol of hope, now stands amid uncertainty. The question, can the region's lifeline survive this crisis? With billions spent and opening day near, the Gordie Howe Bridge faces existential risk. Its financial model depended on robust trade and tolls, but with traffic down, critics warn it could become a white elephant. Historian Robert Bothwell fears it may become a monument to a lost era of cooperation, yet defenders argue its value goes beyond profit. It's essential national infrastructure, breaking a private monopoly and securing public control. MP Brian Mass insists the investment is justified, even if it takes a century to pay off. The bridge is a symbol, but of what? Hubris or resilience? Prime Minister Carney bets on resilience. Presidents come and go, but bridges remain. The bridge's true legacy will depend on whether that belief holds. Industry leaders and historians agree the tariffs are unsustainable. Flavio Volpe of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association says the current system can't survive a 25% tariff. S&P Global's Mike Wall warns the supply chain is breaking, with more shutdowns and layoffs likely. The region's economic model, built on frictionless trade, is being dismantled. Historian Robert Bothwell cautions the bridge could become a relic if protectionism persists. These voices warn that political decisions now could set back decades of progress. The consensus, the current path is a wrecking ball for North American prosperity. Their urgent message: change course before the damage is irreversible. As the last bolts are tightened, the Gordie Howe Bridge stands as more than steel and concrete. It's a choice. It's a bet on connection over division, on shared prosperity over narrow nationalism. Conceived in optimism, born in anxiety, the bridge's value is being tested. The trade war threatens its financial logic and the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands. Yet, in crisis, its true value emerges: resilience, sovereignty, and a challenge to look beyond today's headlines. The bridge asks, should borders divide or connect us? Progress isn't inevitable. It must be built and defended. Bridges are acts of hope, built on faith in a shared future. As it opens, the Gordie Howe Bridge stands as a rebuke to division and a bet on enduring partnership. Its future, and ours, depends on whether we choose connection over conflict.